Hey everyone, we don't appear to have anybody from the general public yet, but of course, as soon as they do come in, we can admit them and begin presenting. And it's great to have representation from everywhere here, not just our community, but also Clayton's joining us from KGS as well. Did anyone want to preemptively provide a small update before anybody comes on?
As this is a recording, we should be doing the whole thing regardless, and other people might watch it tonight.
I actually hadn't started recording, but I certainly can.
I would, and just go through a presentation, whether or not anyone shows up. Just here's what we're up to, here's what's going to happen. And then we can provide that report, that recording on. And if there's no one else on, that's okay, right? They can look at it whenever they wish.
Perfect. Maybe I am recording.
Well, you can cut the first little bit.
Sounds good. Okay, well, we'll get started then. And anybody who joins will join us. Thank you all for hopping on. We're going to do these meetings bi-weekly just throughout our UPAR projects for 2023. We'll be doing them by Zoom, so it's an opportunity for you to hop on at your desk or at your house, and we'll be sharing them as well for the general public who may not be able to make it, or for city administration who are maybe wondering what's going on. So just a quick little roundtable here. My name is Candace Toma. I work with the City of North Battleford in public relations. And joining us from the city, we have our city clerk, Stacey Hadley, city manager, Randy Patrick, our director of engineering, and many, many other things, James Johansson. We have His Worship Mayor David Gillen, and we have Clayton Daku. Am I saying it right, Clayton?
You got it. Good job.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. From KGS, who is our basically our project manager for UPAR updates for this year. So without further ado, we will get started through our presentation. And probably the best source of information for everyone is our website. Now, this is updated all the time, and it's www.cityofnb.ca/UPAR. So very, very good information there, including downloadable, frequently asked questions about everything that you would possibly need to know, preparing for lead service line repairs, temporary water service information, and what to expect and how to prepare for water and sewer service replacements as well. So that website is very valuable. So we'll get through to the project updates, and of course there's people on this call that are much more versed in this than I am, so they can absolutely feel free to jump in to provide updates, but this is current as of, I'm going to say, about an hour ago. So we have two portions of our UPAR project that are ongoing right now, and though that one is 12th Avenue, the first one is 12th Avenue upgrades. The main update for that is that we do have that underway. It's been underway for quite a while, and the underground portion is complete, but concrete crews will be working in that area later on this week or early next week. That project entails a water main replacement, repair and rehabilitation of broken concrete, and excuse me, upgraded lane access points as well. So it's a fairly significant project that's taking place behind the Kramer Building and Innovation Credit Union. So up to the 104th Street intersection. The much larger project is, of course, the 98th Street upgrade, and that is the one that impacts a lot of our residents and property owners. So that status of that is that it's underway. Of course, people in the 1100 block of 98th Street will be well aware. Currently, our crews are midway through that 1100 block, and we're actually going to be waiting. We're actually a little bit ahead of schedule, so we're giving people the opportunity to catch up with those temporary water service installations and just making sure everything is okay. And also we're trying to minimize the disruption with traffic through the Canada Day long weekend. So we're actually going to be picking that up back up with the 1200 block after I guess, July 3rd or 4th, whichever the contractor will take for that statutory holiday. Overall, we expect all of the UPAR, knock on wood, we expect all of our UPAR projects to be completed by mid-September 2023. So you can expect these meetings to be ongoing bi-weekly by Zoom up until that point. And all of the paving for 98th Street will take place at the end of the project. So you won't actually see any of those paving done until all of those 4 or 5 city blocks are completed, that rehabilitation up to the 15th Avenue intersection. Did anyone from our engineering operations department have anything they'd like to add to that? Not hearing anything, we'll continue at this stage. So one thing that we've been publicizing quite a lot and also doing very targeted communications to property owners that will be directly impacted by this is the mandatory lead pipe or lead service line replacement. So City Council back in March, guided by Health Canada's guidelines about maximum accepted concentration for lead levels in water lines, any buildings with lead pipes from now on, connecting them to the city's main water lines will need to be replaced. And that, of course, as we said, mandated by council and under the guidance of Health Canada. So because any lead lines that are encountered during our UPAR 2023 projects, they're already going to be dug up in under the ground. So we may as well replace them while we've already got the ground dug up, and it's for a much better price as well for property owners. So instead of it costing between $6,000 and $8,000, if you have it done by a private contractor, the city will be billing those homeowners $1,000 instead. And of course, there's some additional costs, which we'll get into in a moment as well. But property owners in those project zones have been notified by registered mail about whether or not their properties are connected to the city's water mains by lead service lines. So they should be aware of this. And if you're not sure, or you want to know for future updates for your property, you can contact our Public Works line at 445-1902 and book that inspection so that you can know what you're dealing with ahead of time. So here's where we get into a breakdown of the costs as to repairing those lead service lines. So for those lead lines that are encountered during UPAR construction, it is mandatory replacement, and it will cost the property owner or the homeowner $1,000 to replace that service. Now, typically, like we said, that would cost quite a lot more for the same service provided by a private contractor. And at this stage, during our UPAR construction zones, this will mainly impact property owners in those 1100 to 1400 blocks of 98th Street. And again, they have been notified in advance, but by all means, if you are unaware or unsure, you can always get in touch with us here at City Hall, or you can contact or text, you can call or text, it's pretty nice, our direct UPAR line to ask any questions at 306-441-0359. So what's going on while construction is taking place, because let's be honest, it's going to take place over, a number of weeks, potentially even into months. What we're doing is we have connected impacted properties where those, constructions are taking place to allow continued access to water services. But to keep in mind that the water that is being supplied is non-potable. So those areas where there is construction taking place, a drinking water advisory has been issued for any of those places where we've already gone into the ground. And again, the property owners and the residents have been notified about this. And that drinking water advisory will remain in effect while construction is taking place. So that is very, important to note that. For that $1,000 cost as well for the replacement of lead service lines, we are doing our best to work with residents and property owners, to mitigate those costs or the impact of those costs on households. So payment plans are available, and we encourage anybody who is impacted by that to reach out to our finance department at the city. And you can always call City Hall to get that information as well, 445-1700. And we will work with you to make financial arrangements, including some homeowners have asked for that $1,000 to be posted onto their property taxes owing. So there's a number of ways that we can work with you to, make a financial arrangement that works for your household. And it's also important to note that any reconnection, plumbing, or preparation costs and landscaping costs will be the property owner's responsibility to pay. So at this stage, we would open it up for any questions from the public, but at this stage, we'll open it up to any of the other people on this call who know much more about this than I do, to see if there's anything that they'd like to share that I may have missed. All right, not seeing any. James, do you have anything you want to add? Clayton?
Not from my end there, Candace. Very well put.
Thank you.
Candace, I don't have anything to add at this time.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So again, we're going to be doing another one of these sessions. The next one will take place Tuesday, July the 4th at 1:30 p.m. And that information will be shared on the city's website at cityofnb.ca/UPAR. And also it will be shared on our social media channels as well. And again, the web address, if you're looking for all those pieces of information about how to prepare your property for any upcoming construction, you can visit cityofnb.ca/UPAR, or you can also call or text at 306-441-0359. And that's it for today. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And again, if you have any questions, by all means, feel free to reach out. We are here to answer any questions and work with residents as anything comes up.